Coming up on iOS today, the holidays are upon us. Oh my goodness. And so it is time to talk about holiday planning on this episode of iOS Today. Stay tuned.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is iOS Today, episode 779, with Rosemary Orchard and me, Mikah Sargent. Recorded Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, for Thursday, November 20th, 2025. Holiday planning. Hello and welcome to iOS Today, the show where we talk all things iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, HomePodOS, and all the OSs that Apple offers to us, as well as the apps, gadgets, gizmos, settings, etc. That you should consider for yourself to help make those experiences even more grand. I am one of your hosts. My name just so happens to be Mikah Sargent.
And my name is Rosemary Orchard, and I'm very happy to be here today and maybe to help people outline things, plan things, remind themselves, because I hear, and being a Brit, I'm not entirely convinced about this, that you folks have a holiday coming up. Like, we don't have this, so I maybe it's a hallucination. I don't know.
Well, today as we record this show, it's actually a holiday as well because it's one of my dog's birthday. Henry is 12 years old today, so that's its own holiday. But the holiday that we have coming up is Thanksgiving. It just so happens to be my favorite holiday. Growing up was always my favorite holiday. I think being a young kid, very sensitive to everyone's emotions, Christmas was always so filled with stress. And Thanksgiving was like, everybody gets together and we just have a fun time and it's less stressful. And I try to kind of maintain that now as an adult. And I think that this is what we're talking about here. What can we do? Oh, I should also mention, yes, today is Veterans Day. Thank you, Scooter X. Not just Henry's birthday, but also Veterans Day here in the United States. Also happens to be, I think, the day that Washington, the state, was added to the country. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. I'm trying to find that kind of lower stress opportunity to bring people together. And that is what we're aiming to do here today with lots of different apps and suggestions for you. And I thought I'd kick things off by talking about a new app that Apple has introduced just recently, and that is the Apple Invites app. Now, you may be thinking, the Invites app? Don't you know who's coming over for Thanksgiving? Yeah, we know who's coming over for Thanksgiving, but the great thing about having one spot for making sure you know who's on the list and making sure that you can communicate with all of them. And here's the big one. This is the one that I think is so important. Making sure that everyone has the same times on their calendars is very handy. So let me show you a little bit about the Apple Invites app. And then I'm also going to talk about a third-party app that a lot of people are using these days that may be helpful as well. So let's say we're going to plan for Thanksgiving, which this year, I believe, falls on the 20th, the 27th, excuse me.
This episode releases on the 20th, a whole week before, just to help everyone get planned.
Excellent. And so when you create an event, the first thing that you can do is add a background, and you can choose from emoji backgrounds. So look, there's this fun fall theme. You can also choose photographic backgrounds as well, colors. And so I'm just going to choose this fun fall theme here, and we'll call it Thanksgiving. And we can change the typeface. I'm going to give it that one. We choose a date and time. So again, this is going to be the final Thursday of the month, and we'll gather around 4 p.m. and end around 10 p.m., let's say. Create that location. I'm not going to pop in because then it'll show my location, but you can also put that in as well. And then here's the great part is that you can, this is the thing that makes this unique and would make it potentially something that you want to use, even if in the past you've not, had this sort of group invite experience. If I choose create album, what happens here is everyone who joins this invite is able to then add photos to this group album. So instead of trying to get everybody to remember after they've taken photos at the gathering, to upload them, to get them in here as they need to, it's just a spot that already is there and available for shared photos to be experienced together. You can also add links. So if you were doing, let's say this was a wedding invite, right? You might pop in here with the guest or the gift registry, for example, and then super cool too, especially when it comes to having people over, you can create a group playlist. And so people will be able to add music to this playlist that then you play at the party. So you feel kind of like a great host doing your role of making sure that everybody's music is heard, everything is listened to that they might want to. And then there's at the very end this option to add a tile. And what this does is it is just kind of an additional little feature within the event that you can see and the invite that you can see. So when someone gets an invite, they can choose that they're going, they're not going, or maybe. And there are some options as well for saying, here is what people can do, what they can't do. So for example, I can choose to approve guests. So before they're actually allowed to be part of it, I can say, well, no, we need to approve it. It also shows right now that guests cannot bring additional guests, but you can change that. So you could add a +1, a +2. And then you also have some other options for removing the background preview. So if, for example, you're using a photo of people, an actual photo of people, you can say, until this person becomes a true guest, don't show that background image. Also, accessibility. We've got the background image description right there, so you can describe it whenever this invite goes out. And then you can go from there to duplicate the event, cancel the event, etc. So again, what this does though is that after everybody's joined it, it becomes very easy to then send everybody updates and keep everybody posted on when the event is going on. And as I said, it makes it much simpler for people to be able to share photos from the event in this location. The other app that I wanted to mention is an app called Partiful. And some of you will have heard about this app before because it is a very popular invite app. And honestly, I'm very much of the opinion you meet people where they are, right? As much as you can. And so among my group of local friends, they're not Apple Invites people. They've never, used it before, and then it came out and they already were using Partiful. So then I'm going to meet them where they are. I'll download the Partiful app. I'll use that. And so that is the experience that we have. And what's great about Partiful is that you can do much of the same that you're able to do with the Invites app. Although I would argue it's a little bit more Gen Z. It's got a lot more fancy stuff that you can do. And I'll show you here. This, for example, look at the leaves blowing across the screen. Look at the options for the text that you can do when you're setting a date. You can also create a poll right in this, so you can try to determine a date together. You can add now, this is a recent thing that they did, the ability to have people pay. So if you were, for example, going to an event together that cost, you're all paying for a hotel room or something, you can have that right in the app. And I believe it uses Venmo, I think is the integration. So that's pretty cool as well. And lots of other stuff too. A playlist, a registry, a dress code, what the food's going to be like, parking, all sorts of stuff. And something that I know people really like is that you can, I don't know why this is such a popular feature, but you can customize the emoji that appears above the going, not going, and maybe option. So there you go. That's it as well. That is a look at some of the invite apps. Oh, and then I should also mention, briefly, that when you set up your Partiful, you can also do the same in terms of letting everyone know what's going on. So you can send out message blasts and it sends them via SMS to people. And so then it appears available It appears for them locally, and they can see, okay, here's what's changed or here's what's not changed. So again, we didn't need to use this growing up. We just all were getting together and knew we were all getting together, and you talk on the phone or whatever and figure out what date it's going to be, what time. But the thing that I like about this is it's an updating and, regularly addressable and reviewable place for everybody to be on the same page and know what you're going to be doing. So I think that can be very helpful when it comes to holiday planning, particularly if you've got multiple events going on with friends, in some cases with family and others, with chosen family, whatever it happens to be. So those are two kind of event planning and invite apps that you can check out, both available for free in the App Store. Are you ready to grow in 2026? Let me tell you why advertising on Twit is the way to make that happen. I'm Mikah Sargent. I'm the host of Tech News Weekly and several other shows on the network. And if you've ever listened to our shows, then you know what makes what we do different. It's trust. When we introduce a new partner on the show, the audience knows we believe in what they offer because we're only taking on partners that will actually benefit our audience. And they know that when I'm waxing ecstatic about your product or service, I'm doing so with authenticity. Some other reasons why you should join the network. It's all about the numbers. 88%. That's the number of listeners who've made a purchase based on a Twit ad. 90%. Those are the people who are involved in their company's tech and IT decisions. Oh, and by the way, 99% is the number of people who listen to most or all of the episode. Every host-read ad we offer is authentic, it's unique, it's embedded permanently, so that means that your brand is going to get exposure even after your campaign concludes, because yes, our nerds, our listeners, our viewers, they go back and check out the stuff we've done in the past. Every ad is simulcast across our social platforms. It's always available in both audio and video formats. So if you want your brand woven into conversations with tech experts and the world's most tech-savvy audience, where else are you going to turn except right here at Twit? So let's make 2026 your most substantial reach yet. Get in touch with us. Email partner@twit.tv or visit twit.tv/advertise. All right, Rosemary, let's assume now that you have the guest list ready and it's time to start doing the actual planning. Where do we start?
Well, this really depends on what kind of planner you are. And to borrow something from the now very defunct NaNoWriMo, are you a planner or are you a pantser? Are you just going to kind of plan it and figure everything out in advance and have an immaculate timeline of exactly what needs to be done when? And do you need to, buy things on certain days and put things in the oven and get things out of the freezer to defrost and get things out the fridge to warm up and things like that? Or do you kind of just fly along and you want a list to remind you of the things that sort of occur to you as you go? So for me, obviously, I don't actually celebrate Thanksgiving because I'm over here in the UK. I don't get a day off work or anything like that. But I do use reminders for planning big holiday things. And so I actually have a reminders list here of Christmas presents that I'm planning to buy. And for those 3 people who I know I will be buying Christmas presents for, who will be watching the show either live or in post, you are not on here. So stop spying on my present list. Because otherwise they will be there going, wait, what? Are you not buying me presents? I am buying you presents. You're just not on the list. You're elsewhere right now. But what I've done here is I've actually utilized a feature that was inspired by Apple's shopping list function, which is in reminders, where what you can do is you can actually have sections inside of your reminders. So I can say manage sections and I can add a new section, and I can add a new section called Mikah, for example. I can't spell Mikah, but that's okay. Autocorrect gets me. And now I have a section here for Mikah. And then I could say, I don't know, something green and fabulous. That's a great thing to get Mikah. I don't know. Maybe Mikah would also like curly straws, which are on the list of things to get for Tad. But you can put things in here. Now, This works really well for just being like, oh yeah, I've got this idea of this thing that I need to do, but it also works very well for planning for holidays. Now, obviously, Reminders has all these great functions of, hey, remind me on this date about this, remind me at this location about this thing, which is great for the 6 things that you're going to the grocery store for. You get reminders when you get to the grocery store about those 6 things, and they pop up on your home screen, so you can get super focused on those and not worry about, everything else that you're getting distracted by because, whoa, everything else is on sale there. Including some things you probably don't need to bring to Thanksgiving dinner, like a Bluey t-shirt that maybe not on the list, but hey, you saw it when you were in the store and got distracted and then you forgot the turkey. That could be a problem. Not so much with reminders. But you can also share things with people. So if you have a shared reminders list, then you can assign things to a particular person, which is great because then you can focus on exactly what it is that you're doing. You can add tags. You can add subtasks. You can flag things. You can change priorities. You can also add images and things like that, and notes and a URL. So I personally find this is really great for all sorts of planning. Now, for me, where this slightly falls down is, you can see my mum wanted a foaming face wash. Don't worry, folks. She explicitly asked for this. Is it a weird present for somebody to explicitly ask for Christmas? Maybe, but she's my mum. I'm going to listen to her. So I bought it and I've checked it off. Now, those of you with eagle eyes will see at the top of the screen, underneath the title of reminders where it says Christmas presents, it says 2 completed. Clear. I don't want to clear these things. I've bought them, but I want the reminder there that I have actually purchased them. And just because I purchased them doesn't mean that they're wrapped or they're delivered or anything else. So for that, I am actually looking at using a completely different application. And this one seems a little bit crazy, potentially, to use, because is it designed for this sort of thing? Yes and no. OmniOutliner actually has OmniOutliner 6 in test flight at the moment, which is great because folks can download it and test it and try out all of the great features in it. But OmniOutliner has the option of not just building an outline of text with all of the indented levels. I'm just going to pick an example here to show folks. So you have, your titles and everything. Like, say, for example, you're trying to write a paper, which, this is absolutely great for folks who want to write a paper or a longer article or a book or anything like that who need to figure out an outline. But what you can also do in OmniOutliner is you can build something like a book list. And this is a table. So then I can have all of my presents, and then I can assign them with a little drop down to a particular person. I can show what status they're in. Is it an idea? Is it purchased? Is it repped? Is it delivered? Etc. I can calculate. I can input the amounts and everything. I can do almost anything I like with this. And you can even select multiple rows and make edits to them and things like that. OmniOutliner, it seems like overkill perhaps, but this is also great for planning things like cooking a really big meal. Okay, you've got a bunch of things, they all need to go in the oven at a particular time. You need to figure out, okay, so we want to eat at this time. The turkey needs to rest for however long it needs to rest for when it comes out of the oven, at which point the temperature can go up and then I can cook the potatoes or whatever it is. You can figure out all of that with OmniOutliner. You could also use numbers. You could use any tool, but I would definitely recommend sitting down and having a little play with these, especially OmniOutliner, because it is so powerful. They've added a huge number of features into OmniOutliner 6, including automatic light and dark themes for the notes or the documents themselves, so that your document can automatically change between light and dark. Plus, if you had something explicitly set to a light mode theme before, it didn't automatically get upgraded on purpose so that your stuff doesn't get changed. But yeah, I really, really love this. And I have so many ideas of things that I am going to be planning and plotting with OmniOutliner now that version 6 is there, with Omni automation and stuff as well. There's some really cool examples using AI. So you can automatically say, hey, can you give me a list of the things that I need to plan for a Thanksgiving meal or for a Christmas meal or things that I need to plan for Christmas? And then it will just give you back a whole list and you can turn it into an outline and add all of the details and things that you want and tweak it to make it appropriate for you, so you're not starting from scratch. Because using AI for this sort of thing to get you started, especially if maybe you're cooking your first Thanksgiving meal ever, that is definitely a good place to start so that you don't get completely overwhelmed with all the things you need to do.
I love that idea of sort of the, what are the things that I need to plan? What are the things that I need to prepare? And then kind of going from there, stepping out from there is really handy for sure. Of course, then when it comes time for you to do your actual, I'm thinking about it already with Thanksgiving coming up, the things that I plan to make. I made last year the New York Times recipe for the turkey, and it was very involved. I had a lot of timers, but it was great fun at the same time to be able to make, and it was an absolute hit. So I'm looking forward to that again. And of course, that means then you need a recipe app. There are 2 recipe apps that Rosemary and I always recommend on the show. One is the app that I've used for a long time, and it's kind of why I continue to use it, which is Paprika, just because of, having it on multiple devices and being able to import recipes very easily. But a lot of times these apps are all very similar in terms of their feature set. The app that Rosemary usually recommends sets itself apart with some very cool and unique features, Crouton being the app that kind of thinks about the way that people cook and then gives them tools to kind of improve upon that, like hands-free switching to new parts of a recipe. It's a really, really cool app that I think can kind of make all the difference for you. Now, I believe Crouton and Paprika both available for free in the App Store with in-app purchases to improve upon them. But many of those other features of being able to, again, import from sites and kind of cut back on all of the nonsense that gets added to recipes at times. The 900,000 word stories before you actually get to the recipe all kind of get cut out, which is very handy. Anything you want to say about those quickly before we round things out with our final little picks here?
I just want to say, make sure to actually remember what the purpose of your current celebration is. Is it seeing your friends and family? If things go wrong with whatever food it is you're cooking, don't stress too much. Somebody out there on the internet will have had the same problem and will have a suggestion for you. And worst case scenario, have a frozen pizza in the freezer, just in case.
That is a really, really good bit of advice. I 100% agree. Don't let it spoil the fun. If something goes wrong, make it part of the fun, for sure. The last thing that we'll mention for this section is with holiday planning, there's usually people celebrating gift-giving holidays at the end of the year. And Rosemary, you introduced me to Elfster. I've used different Secret Santa apps, as they're often called, in the past. And for me, none have been as good and as kind of the thing that I think makes it unique is it knows what you need when it comes to a Secret Santa app and tries to present all of those features. So being able to say, for example, here's the list of people that are going to participate. These people can't choose these other people. And you also need to have some other kind of rules behind the scenes that take place. And so, again, among my local group of friends, there are 2 couples of which, I am one. And so when we're doing our Secret Santa, I'm not able to choose my significant other. They're not able to choose me. And then same for the other couple, which then is something that makes it a little bit more fun because obviously we'll be getting things for each other. So I love that. And I believe you use it every year, right?
Yeah, I do. I use it to organize my work holiday Secret Santa, which is optional to participate in. I really like the fact that you can also like publicly set a budget. You can send notes to everybody instead of having to go out of it and find a chat thread in Messages or WhatsApp or an email thread and make sure you're including all the right people. You can just send messages out through Elfster to people. And also within Elfster, for example, if Mikah and I were participating in a Twit holiday Secret Santa style like, gift exchange, and Mikah hadn't put anything on his wish list, and I really needed to know something about Mikah, I could send a anonymous message through Elfster. Obviously, Elfster, the platform, knows exactly who has sent it and so on and so forth. So, you know, there is tracking and security and you don't need to worry about inappropriate messages there. But I can send a secret message going, hey, so can you fill out your wish list, please? Or, oh, what t-shirt size do you wear? Personally, I would also say if you are participating in Secret Santa through something like this, send a couple of red herring messages. Like, for example, if you're planning on buying them a Christmas tree ornament, ask them what t-shirt size they wear. Things like that. Just because
clever.
Then they will have absolutely no idea what's going on and think that everything's gone completely crazy. And also, maybe like get somebody that's not participating in it to do the wrapping if your wrapping style is super obvious and people recognize it from a previous year or something like that. Exchange Christmas paper with some other people or something like that, or just wrapping paper with other people just to, throw things off. So get a little creative and have some fun with it. These things are intended to be fun. So keep that in mind.
I love it. I love it. Very, very good. So that is some of the apps that we suggest that you might check out to help when it comes to planning your holidays. Of course, we wish you all the best of luck and happy, happy, happy holidays as they, kick off here in the US and around the world. Moving right along, it is time for the news. The news is next. If you enjoyed this, well, there's something else you might like. If you want the big picture on what's happening in tech, subscribe to This Week in Tech. Leo Laporte and the panel bring you the stories shaping the industry every Sunday. Okay. So Apple, look, when we look at it as a throwback sort of situation, things seem to align a little bit more. When we look at it just in a vacuum and by itself, things feel a little odd. What am I talking about? Well, Apple has, as of today on Tuesday, November 11th, revealed a new product that is called iPhone Pocket. This is a tube sock with a slit in the side of it to place your iPhone inside. It is as Apple calls it, a singular 3D knitted construction that comes in multiple bright colors. That's very nice. And you slip your iPhone down inside of it and sort of like shove it down in until it's all the way in there. And then you put this sling around your arm and you carry it at your side. It sort of looks like leg warmers. Sort of looks like, I don't know, like,
it looks like one of those like sleeveless gloves type thing.
Yeah, like a
like the fingerless gloves that's like a sleeve with like a thumb hole in it. I like the colors that it comes in. I'm gonna go out on a limb, Mikah, and say I hate the price tag. This is not I dislike the price tag. I hate the price tag. It is $150 or $149.95 for the short strap design and $230 for the long strap crossbody design.
I don't understand. Why is it so much money?
So one of the things that may give folks a clue as to why this is so expensive, this has been featured in Vogue. Okay, folks, Vogue. Okay, this is not just it's Apple making this product. This is a designer thing. And so it's sort of like their partnership with Hermes for the Apple Watches. But yeah, so it's, I also 3D knitted. Are they aware that
Right.
knitting is indeed a 3D thing? Like
That is
that real piece of
bothers
knitting
me.
is 2D? Yeah, no,
Right.
no,
That
it's
bothers me so much. I'm like, that's not a unique thing.
Yeah.
No, it's all, and maybe they mean something different, but explain what you actually mean. Because yes, knitting is not, it does not happen in the second dimension. It happens in our third dimension.
Yeah.
I love too, one of the headlines is a piece of cloth. Yes, it is a piece of cloth. Look, this, I'm sure that what this is for me is that I just don't understand. I was telling Rosemary this morning, I think I just don't understand fashion because this is very high fashion.
I follow fashion. I don't necessarily dress like I follow fashion, but I follow fashion, and to me, this is just a, thing. Like it's one of the things that like you might see on a runway, but it has no actual place in your real everyday life. To borrow from The Devil Wears Prada, it's on the runway, and then 6 years everybody's wearing. 6 years later, everyone's wearing something similar. The problem with this is we already have iPhone lanyards. You can get them for less than $10, and they exist. And you can use your phone while it's attached to a lanyard or a wristlet if you're using that. If you put your phone in this pocket, you have to get it back out to use it. I also feel like the likelihood of you trying to put your phone through the slot into the pocket and then just missing the pocket entirely and dropping your phone onto the floor on the other side is way too high.
Yeah.
Just because of the way it's designed. And there isn't a way around that, to be clear. Like, that is just how this sort of thing works. I'm glad it exists for the people that want to buy this designer piece. I feel like it's going to be bought by about 5 people. It's available to buy, when this episode releases. Will have been out for about 8 days, or 6 days, or something at that point. The purple is a gorgeous shade of purple. I will grant them that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really see a need for this when lanyards already exist, and the lanyard is significantly safer because you can use your phone while it's attached to the lanyard.
Yeah,
So.
I have a I have the little, now I forget what it's called, but the
Apple crossbody strap.
Yeah, the crossbody strap. And I have not used it very much. I would love it if it had sort of a quick detach feature. Of course, that's where people would go, well, why would you want it to quickly detach? Then it's going to fall off. But at the same time, the way that it is right now, I don't like it constantly on my phone. And those little dangly things on the bottom. But what I have ended up doing with my case is I have put a smaller lanyard on there, and that works for me. It's a little wrist lanyard, and this used to be for a pair of AirPods Pro. Like InCase made this for the AirPods Pro, and the AirPods Pro got the lanyard connection, and now I have that on my phone, and it's perfect because my phone goes in my pocket, the little lanyard is on the outside, and then I can just sort of yoink the lanyard and my phone comes out with it. And it's just kind of like a little bit of added visual and physical connection so that I'm able to see and grab the device wherever it happens to be. So I quite like that. I think that, again, as you said, for whomever this is made, I would love to hear about your experience with it for sure. It is not for me. All right. One more bit of news, which is that since we last recorded, I believe, or since our last episode, the new iPad Pro that Apple announced, the new 14-inch MacBook Pro, and of course, the Apple Vision Pro that has been upgraded with the M5 chip are available for purchase. So you can make those purchases therein. You can read all about them on Apple's website. It's essentially in every case just a matter of improved performance, save for the Apple Vision Pro that along with it, we saw the introduction of the dual knit band, where Apple is attempting to improve upon the the strap design that is already there, or the band design that is already there, to make it better fit, more ergonomically. Certainly, it is something I would like to try to see if it improves the experience for me, because as I mentioned during my review of the product and lots afterward, it was such an uncomfortable experience for me. Like, it hurt my head so much to be in that I was dreading reviewing the product, because I thought, oh no, I have to put this back on my head, and I keep getting migraines from it, tension migraines. So if this helps to kind of reduce that tension, that might be something that makes all the difference. So yeah, that's a little bit about the news this week. And now it is time for us to share our app caps. Our app caps are up next. All right. When it comes to app caps, these are the apps and gadgets that we are using now, or have used for some time, or have used in the past, or whatever it happens to be, that we think are awesome. And therefore, we want to share with all of you. We want to tell you about them. So, Rosemary, would you like to tell us about your app or gadget pick this week?
Yes. So this one I've had for a while, but a bunch of people have upgraded devices recently, potentially. And it seemed like a good idea to tell folks about the alternative to the Apple MagSafe battery, which is only compatible with the iPhone Air in MagSafe mode. This is the Torras Ultra. Well, they call it the Mini Mag power bank. It is ultra slim. It's 5,000 milliamp hours, and it just magnetizes onto the back of your iPhone and charges it. That's it. That's what it does. It comes in a bunch of different colors, and I really like this. This is, for me, a great device to just keep in my bag or my pocket, or throw in the car if I'm, going out for the day and things like that, because that way, I then have a battery with me that I can charge or I can recharge my phone with. It also does have a USB-C on the bottom, so that's how it recharges. And so I can theoretically plug another device into it by USB-C if I need to charge something else that isn't MagSafe compatible from it. Now, it is only 5,000 milliamp hours, but it's also so thin that if my clothing has actual pockets and I don't need an Apple Pocket, I can keep the battery pack in my pocket. When I say actual pockets, I mean like pockets for clothing designed for women, which, as anybody that's ever worn these things will know, it's not great at actually holding items. Like you might struggle to fit a lip balm in there sometimes. I can pretty much always fit that battery pack in there. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. It is about $40 online. It's available on Amazon. And probably for a few other retailers as well, but it's a little tricky for me finding the retailers in the US, because it keeps telling me if I look at it on Amazon, like, oh, hey, this isn't available to you because I'm in a different country. So yeah, it's fine. But yes, I highly recommend the Torras Mini Mag. I've had mine for a while, and I actually liked it so much I ordered a second one because my mum stole my first one for a while, and eventually gave it back when I bought her own one. So there was no three floating around in my family.
Nice. My pick this week is an app called Locket Widget. It is an app that's been around for a while, and in fact, I believe won was it an App Store award? Certainly won an award from Apple in the past. Let me just double check what that award was. It was a cultural impact winner, and it's been an Editor's Choice Award as well. Editor's Choice pick as well. But Locket is an app that lets you recently got some more attention, and it's why I ended up re-downloading it, because this app lets you basically share photos with your friends. It's sort of a private social network that you create with your friends. So the idea is you add a widget to your phone, your home screen or the little screen that you can see whenever you swipe over, and you have this little spot where your friends can take photos and then send them over to you, and they appear right there on your phone. So whereas normally, you'd think of like Instagram, where these posts are posted and you go and you find them. This is a little different because it lets you actively send a photo to your friend. And then when they're kind of looking through their phone, they see, oh, look at this cute photo that my friend posted today. And then recently, Locket updated to add what is called a photo dump. Many of you have likely seen this by now. It is just a sort of social media option where you share multiple photos over the course of a month or whatever it happens to be. And so now every Sunday, it will prompt you to do what Locket calls a roll call, where you and your friends can add a bunch of photos and then you can all kind of experience them together. So it's just nice to have this private social media network of sharing photos with friends that only appears, again, for you and your friends. It is available for free in the App Store. It does have in-app purchases as well to add more options like the photo dump feature that, again, is called Roll Call. So that's Locket Widget on the App Store. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode of iOS Today. Of course, if you have questions, if you have Shortcuts Corner requests, if you have some apps that you think we should be talking about, email us. iOStoday@twit.tv is how you get in touch. Of course, please remember Club Twit, twit.tv/clubtwit. That's where you go to sign up to become a member of the club. $10 a month, $120 a year. When you become a member of the club, you gain access to some awesome features. Every single one of our shows ad-free, just the content, none of the ads. You also gain access to our Club Twit feeds that include behind the scenes, before the show, after the show. Special Club Twit events get published there. You will see our news coverage as well. So whenever we do live commentary, that gets published there. And access to the members-only Discord, a fun place to go to chat with your fellow Club Twit members and those of us here at Twit. Coming up as well, we've got, in just under a week, we've got hopefully the second half of our D&D Club Twit adventure. So it's only available to members of the club. If you want to check that out, head to twit.tv/clubtwit. And I look forward to seeing you there. Rosemary Orchard, if people would like to follow you online, where should they go to do so?
Well, the best place to go is rosemaryorchard.com, which has got links to apps, books, and podcasts, and all things where you can find me. Plus, you can find me, all the links to my social media there, and you can find me in the aforementioned Club Twit Discord, where people are hanging out during the show, talking about how people forgot to send cards for the 24th anniversary of the iPod. Honestly, folks, I'm disappointed in you. I was expecting a deluge of these, and it just didn't happen. SkitterX, you need to maybe pay some pet tax or something. Send me a cute penguin picture. I don't know.
Get it together.
Mikah, Mikah, where can folks find you?
If you're looking to follow me online, I'm at Mikah Sargent on many a social media network, where you can head to chihuahua.coffee. That's CHIHUA.coffee, where I've got links to the places I'm most active online. We will see you again next week for another episode of iOS Today. Bye-bye.